Fox Sports presentation.
It seems as long as there have been mountains in Colorado, John Elway has stood the tallest and weathered the biggest storms. With Terrell Davis, however, the Denver Broncos have evolved into a more varied terrain. In pursuit of an elusive Super Bowl, the Broncos feel this may be their best chance because Denver has become a more diverse landscape where John Elway is no longer its solitary peak. Mile High Stadium in Denver may be the toughest place to play in the NFL for visiting teams. The young St. Louis Rams go on the road for the first time this season, and Coach Dick Vermeil has to find a way to get his team's confidence back after last week's subpar performance by Tony Banks against the San Francisco 49ers. This afternoon in Denver, it's the St. Louis Rams and the Denver Broncos on Fox. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fox NFL Sunday. I'm Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss. Bill played in the NFL for 10 seasons, 9 of them with Kansas City, and those 9 seasons he chased John Elway an awful lot, and teams are still chasing him and trying to get him.
They sure are. He's done it for a long time, and he can still do it. But for John Elway, this team over the last 3 years has done a 180-degree turn. They've surrounded him with a complete team. Unlike Dan Marino and Jim Kelly, his friends, he has a running attack led by Terrell Davis. This kid is good. He can bring it. Bud Carson's, the Rams defense coordinator, said he's as good as he's ever seen in the game.
They've improved their offensive line. As 7-time Pro Bowl performer, Gary Zimmerman has come out of retirement.
What a big boost for them. Now, they were pretty good already. This makes this offensive line now great. I mean, bringing Gary Zimmerman back, a 7-time Pro Bowler, into the mix helps them out tremendously.
St. Louis Rams have to get their offense rolling again. Tony Banks had a rough day against the 49ers last week.
He sure did. 3 fumbles. They think he's got the case of the fumbles like he had 21 last year. But this kid is determined to cure this problem. He carried the football around with him all through practice this week, took it to lunch with him, but he has confidence because Isaac Bruce now returns. Now, for the Broncos, they have to face a double deep threat with Eddie Keddison and Isaac Bruce.
Some concern for running back Lawrence Phillips. He suffered a turf toe injury last week against the 49ers. Will not start today. For the latest on Lawrence Phillips, let's go down to the field and Pete Peterson.
Well, Sam, I just talked to Lawrence Phillips a few minutes ago after warm-ups. He's limping a little bit, but he says he feels fine, and he's a little miffed he's not starting. Ron Moore will start in his place. How much action will Lawrence Phillips see will depend on how Ron Moore performs. Also expect to see Amp Lee out of the backfield. They've made an orthotic toe piece for Lawrence, just like Eric Dickerson, just like Jerome Bettis before him. We'll see if it'll work the magic here at Mile High, Sam.
Thanks very much, Pete. So we're getting set in Denver. The Broncos 2-0, the Rams 1-1. From Mile High Stadium, we'll be set to go with the opening kickoff after these messages from your local station.
And it's time for the Erickson Countdown.
Some of the scores around the NFL. Washington and Arizona in overtime. Tampa Bay 3-0. First loss for Minnesota. Detroit wins in Chicago. Big win for the Lions after a rough start. Green Bay ahead of Miami. Kansas City leading Buffalo in the fourth quarter, and the Giants leading Baltimore in close one in the fourth quarter. Here in Denver, Dick Vermeil and the St. Louis Rams 1-1. Shanahan off to a great start in his 3rd season as head coach of the Denver Broncos. Jeff Wilkins to kick off. Vaughn Hebron, who leads the NFL, is deep. That's Derek Lavelle, the up man. Wilkins. Line drive kick deep in the end zone and through the end zone. The Broncos go on offense, and their offense has been outstanding, led by 15-year veteran John Elway, who is throwing less, completing more. His offensive line, Gary Zimmerman, normally a left tackle, comes back out of retirement. First game, he reported on Wednesday, he's the right tackle. Rod Smith had a career day against Kansas City in week 1. Ed McCaffrey was outstanding against Seattle last week. The offensive coordinator is Gary Kubiak. Inside handoff to the fullback, Howard Griffith, for about a yard on the play. So they try to little change of pace with the Rams probably looking for Terrell Davis to carry. Griffith, the fullback, gets a couple. For the St. Louis Rams, Bill Johnson, DeMarco Farr, interior linemen have been very good against the run. O'Neal and Carter have provided an exceptional rush. The linebackers, Mike Jones came over from Oakland last season. Keith Lyle has 3 interceptions. Ryan McNeil had 2 last week. Bud Carson is the defensive coordinator who loves to throw the blitzes at you. On second down, Elway to the tight end, Shannon Sharp to the 29-yard line. Gerald McBurrows and Robert Jones in on the tackle.
You know, we were talking with Bud Carsons yesterday, and he came and told us, he said, hey, I have to go at this group with everything I got. Now, Bud is known for his blitzes. He blitzed a lot last week, but he has to come after him with more people. He's going to be aggressive. He feels with this team and the defense that he plays, the only way you stop this offense is to get after John Elway and blow up the line of scrimmage.
3rd and half a yard for the Broncos. McCaffrey in motion. Terrell Davis, stop. Outstanding tackle, the middle linebacker Robert Jones in a hurry, throws Terrell Davis for a loss. Good play by the Rams defense.
But that was a heck of a play and a heck of a boost for them. You know, they come up here as a young team. They struggled last week with the loss to San Francisco, and their defense goes 3 and out. Watch. There he is right there, looking to fill the hole. That's a nice fill by Mike Jones. He's really played well for him this far this season.
Only the 5th punt of the season for Tom Ruin of the Broncos. Eddie Kennison is deep for the Rams. Ruin gets it away. Fair catch called for by Kennison. He takes it at the 25-yard line. Darius Johnson was down in a hurry, number 25.
Sam, the Denver Broncos offense usually doesn't go 3 plays and out.
No. That's only the 2nd time this season that's happened. 47-yard punt for Ruin. Tony Banks, the 2nd-year quarterback out of Michigan State. Vern Brostek and Vernice Smith making their first appearances of the season. And so is Isaac Bruce, the outstanding wide receiver. Jerry Rome is the offensive coordinator. He's upstairs in the booth. 76,000 strong here at Denver, urging on the Broncos defense. Isaac Bruce in motion. Flags go down. Bruce takes the short pass, and he stopped at the 30-yard line.
That's going to be offsides on Neil Smith, number 90. Neil, with all that crowd noise, Neil just jumped a little bit early.
Broncos had 8 penalties first game of the season, 4 last week. Gary Lane is the referee, 16-year NFL veteran, talks it over with Tony Banks. And Robinson checking to see what the Rams want to do.
Offsides, defense, number 90. Penalties accepted, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Gary Lane, the referee. The Denver defense, they brought in Keith Traylor and Neil Smith from Kansas City. Alan Aldridge, John Mobley, 2nd-year man out of Kutztown, lot of speed. And the veteran Bill Romanowski as well on the linebacker position. Tyrone Braxton had 9 interceptions last season. Darian Gordon came in from San Diego. Greg Robinson is the defensive coordinator.
Referee's timeout here.
Checking the spot.
Yeah, they didn't get a proper spot. Yeah, it moved it back about a yard.
It'll be 1st and 5 on the offside call. Here in Denver, the St. Louis Rams on offense for the first time of the game after their defense stopped the Broncos. And again, they jump. This time the Broncos are pointing to the Rams.
Well, Neil Smith is saying this is the 2nd time Vernice Smith jumped. And with this crowd noise and a new starter at right guard, you know, it could affect them. The Rams worked all week whispering the snap count to the offensive linemen so they could get used to this crowd noise. Because I'm telling you, I've played up here. It can get very loud. It's a hostile environment.
Prior to snap, false start, offense, number 62. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Number 62 is right here. We're going to see if he gets a little jump first. That's what Neil's saying was the 2nd time. I don't see it. I don't see it. But you know what? Neil Smith, being a veteran, talked the referees into it.
We're back where we started. 1st and 10 from the 25. Banks throws short to Ron Moore, and right on him was John Mobley.
That's what John Mobley does so well. The break on the ball, using his speed. Not a very big linebacker, but an extremely fast linebacker.
Second-year man out of Kutztown, a Division II school. He was a first-round draft pick last year.
Yeah, if you talk to a lot of the Broncos personnel, they think this guy's just slated for the Pro Bowl.
No gain on the play. 3 wide receivers in for the Rams. Torrance Small is in with Eddie Kennison and Isaac Bruce. Ron Moore, the lone setback. And it's Moore with no hole and no gain. Bill Romanowski, the first man there for the Broncos. Alfred Williams, the defensive end, number 91 as well. Broncos defense has done an outstanding job thus far this season, giving up only 1 touchdown of the 2 scored against the Broncos. Keith Traylor has gone out. Ma'a Tanuvasa, good pass rusher, is in, number 98. On 3rd and 9.5. Rams with 3 wide receivers and Amp Lee in the backfield. Banks gets pressure, throws incomplete. Atwater with a hit on Amp Lee, the intended receiver. And the Rams go 3 and out. Broncos defense comes strong. And here at Mile High Stadium in Denver, the Broncos and the Rams. Will Bryce, the left-footed punter, gets it away. High kick to Darian Gordon at the 25. Gordon trying to pick up some blocked heads the other way. And he's brought down by Nate Dingle. Fine tackle on the play. John Elway comes on for the second time. And we welcome those of you watching the Washington Redskins win in overtime.
What a christening for the new stadium, huh?
Denver Broncos go on offense for the second time from their own 20. They were 3 yards and out their first time. 3 plays and out, excuse me. Elway back to pass, sends everybody out. Throwing short, intended for Terrell Davis out of the backfield. Covered by Robert Jones.
The Rams defense has done a fine job the first 2 games. Really surprised me, and I think surprised everybody, including Bud Carsons. And he's got these guys playing. They work real hard during the week to accomplish the goals they set for themselves. It's a complicated defense, but these guys turned in 2 great weeks the prior 2 weeks. They really need to continue that effort here today. And so far, they've been doing a good job, Sam.
In motion comes Ed McCaffrey. Todd Light goes with him. Davis carrying. Little cutback and a good gain across the 30. Pick up about 5 on the play. Leslie O'Neal, number 91, and on the tackle for the Rams.
And you know, you see that play there, and that's exactly how John Elway describes Terrell Davis. He says he gets to the line of scrimmage, and you say, oh no, maybe a gain of a yard or maybe even a loss, and you look around and he picked up 4 yards. I mean, that's exactly what he did right there on that play. He's into the line of scrimmage, you think, okay, it's stuffed up, and he's got 4 yards.
3rd and 5 for the Broncos. Elway out of the shotgun, has 3 wide receivers in. Willie Green has come in. Terrell Davis in the backfield. Looked like the jump. Shannon Sharp moved too soon. The tight end to the right side.
For the most part, Sam.
Snap, false start, offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
The Denver Broncos offense has so many weapons. It's a veteran group. They know they're all in this for the long haul to get to the Super Bowl. It's a broken year if they don't end up there. That's their thought. But they've got so many weapons. Shannon Sharp being one of them. Of course, John Elway. Terrell Davis. And a pretty good receiving corps.
3 wides in for Denver. Rod Smith and Willie Green left. Ed McCaffrey right. On 3rd and 10. Touchdown, Denver. Rod Smith and John Elway hook up on a 72-yard touchdown connection. Smith had a 78-yard catch in the first game against Kansas City. It wasn't for a touchdown. Now a 72-yarder.
Yeah, Sam, and a lot of people who criticize their wide receiver course says they have no speed at wide receiver.
Boy, he flew. Found the opening. Jason Elam for the extra point, and the Broncos have a 7-0 lead. They strike quickly.
Watch Dexter McLean, number 24. He fell. He was right there in situation to break on the ball, and he fell and broke the whole thing open.
9:56 to go, first quarter, and the Broncos strike quickly.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to fly. By Volvo. Volvo reminds you to drive safely. By Intel, makers of the amazing Pentium 2 processor. And by Frost Brewed Coors Light, who reminds you the three most important words are, hey, beer, man.
Rod Smith, his 8th reception of the season. First touchdown. Jason Elam kicks off to Jermaine Ross. 1 yard deep. Oh, hard hit by Dedrick Dodge at the 17-yard line. Good coverage by the Broncos.
I want you to take a look at this touchdown here. This is y'all 22. It's press coverage. Now right there is Dexter McLean. He's on Rod Smith. Watch him. He trips and falls, and that's what springs Rod Smith open. Watch. Right here, he goes down. Now, the safeties back here, you see them fall as well? Now you get to wonder, this team has just played 2 games on turf, and this is their first game on grass. Watch McLean. He loses his footing right there and goes down. That's when Smith is open, and then the safeties downfield knock each other off.
But they practice on grass, Bill. Rams second time on offense. Banks. Ernie Conwell, the tight end, breaks a tackle. Pulls his way up. Flags come flying in.
You got face mask here.
Good effort by the tight end, Ernie Conwell.
Well, that's all he is effort.
One-time collegiate fullback.
Big Ten shot putter.
Hey, he was.
Personal foul. Number 39 on the defense, face mask, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Ray Crockett, the cornerback, who's called for the face mask.
Watch Ray Crockett coming into the picture. Watch their left hand come up, and then watch it yank down on the head. Yeah, that's 15 yards. That's not just intentional grabbing it. He grabbed a hold of it and yanked it down.
Moves the ball up to the 42-yard line. There's Ernie Conwell, had a big game, the opening game of the season against New Orleans. Ampley and Ron Moore in the backfield. Isaac Bruce in motion, and they jumped across again. This time was Harold Hasselbeck, number 96, and they're pointing to each other.
They're pointing to each other, but the truth be known, they both moved. Hasselbeck moved, and so did Wayne Gandy.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Is it tough for them to hear the signals, you think, Bill?
Yeah, the tackles are moving a little bit, and they get the snap count, and this crowd gets going. I told you, this is a hostile environment. Watch number 70 right here. He's going to flinch just a little bit. Just that little movement right there was enough to draw the defense. And that's what you're looking for, is defensive lineman. You're looking for that little movement because you've got to get the jump.
First and 15 for the Rams at their own 37. The pitch to Ron Moore. Ron Moore carried only once last season as a New York Jet. Time for a McDonald's game break. For that, we're going back to JB.
Sam and Bill, the Washington-Arizona affair settled in overtime. How? Gus Frerotte under pressure, escapes, launches a 40-yard bomb to Michael Westbrook. That did it. Redskins christen Jack Kent Cooke Stadium with the victory over the Cardinals. Let's take it back. Sam Rosen and Bill Moss.
Fantastic play to win the game in overtime. And Washington, 2-1 on the season. Cardinals 1-2. Banks with a deep drop, sets up a screen to Ron Moore. Gets away, flags go down. Moore gets to the 48-yard line.
Yeah, you got another face mask out here. I think they're going to add another 15 onto that.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 95 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Coming into the left of your screen is Michael Dean Perry. Watch him, right hand pulls that thing around. I mean, he knew it right away too.
So the Rams, with the help of two 15-yard face mask penalties against the Broncos, have now moved into Broncos territory down to the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan was concerned about the penalties 2 weeks ago, and then they reduced them last week. But the Broncos are out here committing some fouls and giving the Rams some life. I mean, after the quick score, you keep them down, and now these guys are in their territory.
3 wideouts for the Rams, 5 defensive backs for the Broncos. The crowd is noisy. The play fake, and Banks to run. Picks up about 6 on the play. Bill Romanowski on the stop of Tony Banks.
You know, I see a lot of press coverage by the Broncos, and primarily they play a lot of zone. See what I mean by press coverage? How close they are to the receivers? They're playing up on the receiver. That's Tim McKyer right there. He was up on Isaac Bruce, and Isaac Bruce hasn't had a ball thrown to him yet.
His first game of the season. Missed 3 games in preseason with a hamstring injury. He was motioning to the bench like, come on, throw to me.
Yeah, and they're pressing him again at the line of scrimmage.
Banks yelling as he checks off at the line. Everybody out, pressure, and down he goes. Keith Traylor. One of the additions in the offseason, a free agent pickup from Kansas City.
Yeah, Keith Traylor finally feels like he has a home here. He was drafted originally, watch, here's number 94. He was drafted originally by the Broncos as a linebacker. Now he goes right over Vernice Smith, right through his outside shoulder. And Vernice Smith, of course, playing for Zach Wiegert, but you get a little holding on the tight end there.
Romanowski.
That's one way to cover a tight end.
Loss of 12 on the play, 5th sack of the season for the Broncos. 3 wide receivers for the Rams with Amp Lee in the backfield. Pressure from Michael Dean Perry. He deflected it. Good play by the other defensive tackle.
Yeah, and there's another defensive tackle inside. And we're talking about the new center in Bernd Brostick, and we're talking about the new guard in Vernice Smith, and this is where it comes again. Now watch Michael Dean Perry. Oh, I'm sorry, he was on the other side there. Him and Traylor flipped sides, but he beat Vernice Smith again. So Vernice Smith is getting Michael Dean Perry and Traylor. I mean, they're fighting to get over him.
Rams with 2 injuries on the offensive line. Mike Rudidoria and Zach Wiegert are out. And Vernice Smith and Bernd Brostick getting their first appearances. High kick and a good one by Will Bryce. And it takes a good bounce for the Broncos. Rams were ready to down it inside the 10. And it bounces into the end zone. That's Darius Johnson down for Denver.
That thing was high, Sam. I thought it was going to burn up upon re-entry.
Bryce was working. That's right. Bryce was working on his pooch bunts. Almost pinned the Broncos deep. Since 1974, the toughest place to play in the NFL. Broncos have won their last 9 home games.
Unquestionably, one of the biggest home field advantages ever. This altitude, and today with the heat, you saw the cool zones blowing on the players on the sidelines.
On first down from the 20, Terrell Davis. Nice hole, flags fly. Maybe a holding against the Broncos that will bring back a good run.
Yeah, that was 66 Tom Nalen. He had a pretty good block. He actually didn't have to hold his guy. He was holding Bill Johnson. He actually didn't have to.
Broncos penalties are mounting in this game.
That's got to be a concern. There's Tom Nalen right there.
Offense, number 75, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, they got the guard, too. Watch right here. That's Brian Habib. No, Brian Habib's pulling. It's right there on 66. That's Tom Nalen. That's where the hold was called.
And Habib may have had a hold on Robert Jones
was he
as well.
outside, too?
Yeah. Back to the 10-yard line.
Well, you know what they say, Sam? Anytime you throw a holding penalty, you can call any one of those offensive line guys, and you're probably right.
1st and 20. 2 tight ends in for Denver. Dwayne Carswell has joined Shannon Sharp. Off the short drop, outside, incomplete, intended for Rod Smith. Denver Broncos off to a 2-0 start after a 13-3 season last year, but they didn't stand pat. Bill, they went after several free agent players to improve their team and give their team a better shot at making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think that's the commitment, and not only by the coaches but the players, because they went out and got players, and they really didn't have cap money. So a bunch of the guys on the Broncos team, veterans that want to win a Super Bowl, some guys deferred their money till next year. A lot of them deferred their bonuses so they could free up some money so they could go out and get the 2 or 3 extra players that they need to reach the Super Bowl.
2nd and 20 out of the shotgun. Pressure on Elway. Incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Dexter McClean, the nickelback, on Rod Smith.
And the fans want a pass interference call, but that was a clean play by McClean. And the one thing that I saw out there by the Rams defensive backs was they all stayed in coverage. And that's one of the keys you have to do when you play John Elway. Because look, right here it looks like DeMarco Farr has him sacked. But John beats it, steps up, and he's always looking. Now, the coverage downfield, the guys are staying with the receivers. Number 65, Gary Zimmerman back playing out of position on Kevin Carter. Pretty solid guy. That's why he's been to a lot of Pro Bowls. You can just, what does that say about training camp?
You don't want to tell the coaches that. Elway under pressure, completes to Shannon Sharp, but it's short of a first down at around the 24-yard line. Roman Pfeiffer covering on Shannon Sharp.
Well, that's some of the stuff I talk about when I talk about John Elway and how he'll kill you. All kinds of people around him, had to almost jump up to throw the ball unorthodox out of his feet weren't planted, and he still completed the ball with tight coverage to Shannon Sharp.
And with that reception, he goes over 5,000 receiving yards in his NFL career. The 6th Bronco to do that. Tom Ruin in to punt, his 2nd of the game. A little over 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter as Ruin gets off a good kick. Eddie Kennison looks, waves for a fair catch, and takes it at the 27-yard line. So both Ruin punts have not been returned. There have been no punt return yardage against the Broncos this season. What a great setting for football. 76,000 strong. And they're talking about a new stadium.
Well, it's a great setting unless you're out there on the field. As a player, you die playing up here. We had some brutal AFC West rivalries here, and the altitude affects you. I don't care what anybody says. We tried everything. We came in a day early, 2 days early. We tried everything short of blood doping to beat that thing, but it affects you.
Lawrence Phillips into the lineup for the St. Louis Rams. Ironhead Hayward's a wing to the left side. Phillips carrying, gets to the 30-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play. Darian Gordon, the right cornerback, number 23, in on the tackle. So Lawrence Phillips, bothered by turf toe, comes in.
Watch what the Rams do here. Look at how many people they have stacked over on this side. They got 2 tight ends, and then Hayward out here, and then they give it to Phillips. I mean, they just want to pound the ball at him now that Phillips is in the game. And reasonably so. They've had some trouble already with the defensive tackles, so I guess their philosophy is, well, let's go at the end. Get the ends and the linebackers and get a good push on them and let Phillips bounce it out.
2 tight ends are in. Eddie Kennison, the lone wide receiver. Isaac Bruce is on the sideline. His hamstring may be bothering him again. Banks throwing to the sideline, completes to Eddie Kennison. Nice play to stay in bounds by Eddie Kennison at the 42, and that'll be a first down for the Rams.
Well, that's a first down for the Rams, but it was 1 step away from being 6 points for the Broncos. Steve Atwater was a step away from taking that the other direction.
Broncos defense. Here is Steve Atwater, the outstanding free safety. Lawrence Phillips and Amp Lee in the backfield. It's Phillips, finds the opening, and into Broncos territory. Down the 46-yard line. Good run by Lawrence Phillips.
What it was good vision. Using his eyes and deciding where he's going to take his cut. Watch the cut he takes here. Now, they want to start the ball over this way, but he's going to cut it right back up in here. Where the hole is. Watch when he sees the hole. He's running to the right. He sees the hole. He cuts back off the tackle Gandy.
12-yard pickup for Lawrence Phillips. Word is that Isaac Bruce has gone to the locker room for the Rams to have the medical staff check on him. Banks with a long count. Off the play fake. Completes to Torrance Small.
Nice catch. Way to go up and after it.
Ray Crockett was covering, but a good catch by Torrance Small.
Yeah, I mean, there was tight coverage by Crockett. Crockett was right there. Now, Banks he took his time. He had good protection. I want you to watch the protection in this thing first. He has all time back there, and he sets up, and he fires the ball downfield to Small. Look at the protection, and look at the time he has. And that's what the Rams offensive line needs to do for this young quarterback. Last week, they were getting in his face that caused him to run around and cause those fumbles.
Good drive. Phillips tries to bounce outside, but he slipped. He was covered by John Mobley on the play.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of slips by the Rams. I'm seeing it now 3 or 4 times. And I was down there in that field, and that's a hard grass. It's a hard, slick grass. They played their last couple games in the dome there on AstroTurf, and, they might have a footing problem going on here.
Ball spotted just across the 34-yard line. Keith Crawford, number 81, is in at wide receiver, along with Torrance Small, both to the left side. Amp Lee is a wing back to the right, and Phillips in the backfield. Quick pitch deflected, incomplete. Steve Atwater on a blitz got his arms up to deflect the pass. That's a heck of a play.
They're playing pretty aggressive. That the Broncos are coming after him. I want you to watch Atwater. Now, he's going to come right here. Watch him get this tip. He jumps as the ball's being thrown. Right there is on the blitz. Now, the Broncos are coming after them. They're being aggressive. Last week against Seattle, they were a little soft. They played, pretty much zone defense. They're playing press covers, and they're in it again. They're up on the receivers.
3 wideouts in for the Rams on 3rd and 10. Banks sideline away from Lee, and he's wrestled out of bounds by Tyrone Braxton.
There's a flag down. What I believe they're going to call pass interference here. I think that's going to be on Crockett.
Tony Banks is applauding. He likes it. It's going to be against Denver. So the penalties continue against the Broncos.
Holding, defense, number 39, 5-yard penalty, first down.
First down for the Rams.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of the first downs, we've got 3 of them now that have gone to the Rams because of penalties from the Broncos. Okay, now 39 is over here to the left of your screen. See if we can get him in the picture. We get him on the hold. Now, he was up here. That was him right there, and he was back there. What he did was he held up Torrance Small.
Ball spotted at the 28-yard line of the Broncos. 6 penalties against Denver. Rams have moved from their own 26-yard line. Banks completes to Torrance Small. Short gain on the play. Darian Gordon covering.
Yeah, there's quite a battle going on down there between Michael Dean Perry and Vernice Smith. I mean, they're just bringing it right over Vernice Smith. And if that keeps up, they're going to get Tony Banks hurt. They're going to get him hit, and they're going to have to keep a back in there, someone to help out.
Keith Crawford and Torrance Small are the wide receivers. Phillips and Hayward in the backfield. Banks on 2nd down. Lawrence Phillips breaks the tackle. Beautiful cut. Phillips heading for the end zone. Touchdown Rams. What a run by Lawrence Phillips. He broke the tackle of Steve Atwater and headed into the end zone.
Well, what a run. You know, maybe the kid ought to go out and get turf toe every week. Pretty darn good run.
Maybe got juiced up a little bit not starting today.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you got that orthopedic brace in there on his foot to help that big toe out. I have turf toe, and it stays with you forever. When you get it, you always have it.
Lawrence Phillips, who ran for 3 touchdowns in Week 1 against New Orleans, gets his 4th touchdown of the season. Jeff Wilkins puts it through, and the game is tied. Late in the first quarter, the Rams with an outstanding march down the field, and Lawrence Phillips finishes it off with a beautiful touchdown run.
Teammates sponsored by the U.S. Army.
23-yard touchdown run for Lawrence Phillips, capping off an excellent drive for the Rams of 74 yards. They did it with Isaac Bruce in the locker room, nursing a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he beat
Phillips,
the secondary.
What a job.
That's what he did. He beat the secondary. You know, they tried to bring those safeties up on him and the run support, which is Denver is known for, and he beat him at the line of scrimmage.
Jeff Wilkins to kick off. To the NFL kickoff return leader, Vaughn Hebron. Hebron is 9 yards deep, and he's going to bring it out. Cutting back, gets to about the 17, 18-yard line. Flags go in.
Watch right here. Watch Atwater come up to the line of scrimmage and watch Phillips make a miss. And then 34, Braxton back here, he makes him miss. That's 2 Pro Bowl safeties Phillips made miss.
Great run. It's going to be against the Broncos for holding.
Yeah, how many penalties is that for the Broncos? Yeah, 7 penalties.
Yep.
During the return, holding on the receiving team, number 59, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You know, I know Hebron is confident with his return abilities, but he was 9 yards deep.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. When you get 9 yards deep in the end zone, sit down. I mean, they're averaging 42 yards of return, and they've done a pretty good job, but it's only the 3rd week of the season.
So the Broncos will start from their own 9-yard line with 2 tight ends in there. Terrell Davis, the lone setback. Elway with time. Goes short, drop, incomplete, intended for Terrell Davis.
You know, Denver appears to be in a little bit of a funk. You know, we went out to practice facility this week. They seemed relaxed, a veteran group, knowledgeable. They knew what they had to do, and they knew what they expected of them every play. But right now, the way they're starting this game, it's pretty sloppy. With the penalties and the broken assignments.
Shannon Sharp walking along the sideline. Rams have their entire second defensive line in the game. Terrell Davis breaks it outside. Brought down by Keith Lyle up at the 20-yard line.
If you have many more runs like that, you'll see the first team back in there quick.
Terrell Davis with back-to-back 100-yard rushing games in the first 2 games of the season against Kansas City and Seattle. And we've come to the end of the first quarter. Broncos scored first on the long touchdown pass from Elway to Rod Smith. Lawrence Phillips tied it for the Rams.
Well, folks, Doug is the man. Doug.
Glorious day in Denver, Colorado. Temperature in the mid-80s. Very low humidity, light breeze. You gotta be loving it here, Bill.
I wish I was on a horse right now. Listen to that music.
Start of the second quarter. Game tied 7-7.
Anybody seen Thunder around here?
He was out earlier.
Was he out? Yeah. Have to throw a saddle on Thunder at halftime.
Rams' second line defense remains in. Jeff Robinson, number 94, former Denver Bronco, played here 4 years. First and 10 for the Broncos at the 20. Everybody out. Elway goes sideline with Byron Chamberlain. The number 2 tight end replacing Shannon Sharp, who turned his ankle but is expected to come back. Chamberlain, a former World League player.
Now, watch the protection here. Now this is Zimmerman, and he's going against Jay Williams. And he's a former World League player too. But look at the form and technique by Zim. And like I said earlier, that kind of throws that training camp routine out the window, doesn't it?
How about him working at right tackle instead of left tackle?
Yeah, you can pretty much line him up anywhere.
Second, less than a yard. Howard Griffith, the fullback, gets the first down as he carries several players to the 33. Time for McDonald's game break from San Diego. Let's go back to the Fox Television Center to JB.
Sam, a 56-yard kickoff return by Michael Bates sets up this Kerry Collins 8-yard strike to tight end Wesley Walls, and it's all knotted in San Diego at 7. Carolina threatening again, Sam. Back to Sam and Bill.
JB's going on the road next week to Green Bay with the rest of the crew for the pregame show.
They're getting up there while it's still warm.
On the road with JB. Broncos with a first down. Elway off a nice play fake. Connects. First down to the tight end, Wayne Carswell. So the Broncos using their tight ends, all three of them. Right now, Shannon Sharp has come out of the game with a turned ankle.
Now here comes the first string defensive line back in the game. So you give them a little breather here early in the game, early in the second quarter, because of the altitude thing. You're going to need these guys in the fourth quarter. So you spell them for a couple series, but now they get up there around midfield. They got to come back in and stop this thing.
They've split the fullback, Howard Griffith, to the right side. Two wide receivers left. Now Griffith in motion. Rams coming on the blitz. Big hole for Terrell Davis. He's tripped up as he got inside Rams territory.
Well, there's a reason they had Howard Griffith out there, and it wasn't to catch a pass. They split him out to the right of the formation. He's out here. Now watch, he's going to come into the picture, and he's going to wham DeMarco Farr. And this is what springs it open. See this? That's called a wham. That's a legal block. And when you're down there as a defensive lineman, you have to have your vision. Use your vision to see that motion man coming in, or else you can get hurt in there.
Nice run by Terrell Davis at the Rams 46, 2nd and 3. Griffith, the fullback, spun away from one man and got a couple on the play. Gerald McDaniels finished him off. Howard Griffith in his second season with the Denver Broncos, coming over from Carolina as a free agent last year.
Yeah, he's a heck of a blocking fullback. Now, he was in college a great halfback. A guy who used to run the ball all the time, but this is how he fits into the pros. He's a blocking back, and he does a great job at it. Terrell Davis loves running behind him because he gives him room. He's on his block and gives him a lot of room to make a read off his block.
Here's 3rd and 1 for the Broncos with McCaffrey in motion. Elway still got it. Incomplete, intended for McCaffrey. Kevin Carter, good
nice heads-up play. Nice heads-up play by Kevin Carter. Now, when you play John Elway, you're going to know that he likes to roll out on the naked bootlegs. And there was a nice job of Kevin Carter not sucking into the run and staying in protection. Fourth down, they're going.
Broncos go for it on 4th down. It's their first 4th down attempt of the season. 4th and 1. And now Elway didn't like what he saw and calls timeout. 12:23 to go, second quarter. Broncos with the ball on 4th down.
Da da da. Da da da.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Texaco, a world of energy. By 7-Eleven, oh thank heaven for 7-Eleven. And by Oracle, the company that's enabling the information age through network computing.
On the left, offensive coordinator of the Broncos, Gary Kubiak. Bud Carson, defensive coordinator for the Rams. What's the call here, Bill?
Elway up the middle.
Okay. 4th and 1 at the Rams 44. Two tight ends in, two wide receivers. That's Chamberlain in motion. Pitch to Terrell Davis. Following the block of Tony Jones, he's got a first down. Inside the 40. 5 carries for Terrell Davis.
Remember the money we talked about they freed up? One of the guys they got in the offseason was Tony Jones. Watch him pull and lead this thing. He gets a nice block that springs this open. Now, that's a big guy out there on a cornerback. I mean, Tony Jones is like 320-some-odd pounds, and he's out there on Ryan McNeil. That was a nice open field block.
Once again, Howard Griffith wide to the right side. And goes in motion. And Davis carrying, busts outside. Ran into a wall, the wall named Robert Jones, the middle linebacker, after a 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, DeMarco Farr still hasn't caught on. You have to have vision down here. Watch DeMarco Farr, and here comes the wham block again. Now, who blows it up is actually Kevin Carter. Kevin Carter, the defensive end, helps blow this thing up. But DeMarco Farr gets nailed again. And that's the life down there in the trenches. You think you got your hands full with big 300-some-pound odd linesmen, and then here comes a DP or somebody.
Elway on 2nd and 9. Steps up and runs. Dives across the 30 for a first down. John Elway, the 4th leading rushing quarterback in NFL history. Picked up 10 on that play.
He can still do it.
Yes, he can. 15 years in the NFL.
You know, when you play the Broncos anymore, it's like pick your poison. And they can get you with Terrell Davis. They can get you with Shannon Sharp, John Elway's arm, and he's been running for a long, long time.
Broncos have done a good job keeping the Rams defense on the field. This drive started from their own 9. Davis on the cutback. Gets to the 25. Picked up about 4 on the play. Mike Jones and Keith Lyland on the tackle for the Rams.
Yeah, you don't think this will get you tired. This is one of the worst things that you couldn't stand when you're playing defense and you come up here to Mile High. Is that they get a 10, 12-play drive going on you.
Jeff Sconina, number 90. Brian Robinson, number 92, have come in as the interior linemen. Flipper Anderson in for the first time of the game for the Broncos. He's in motion. Elway still got it. Being chased. And throws it incomplete. Todd Light of the Rams, number 41, was the closest man to it. But good pressure on the play by Jay Williams, number 96.
Yeah, and it's obvious no matter who's playing that left defensive end position, they were told stay in containment. This guy likes to roll out on the naked to his right and set up. Now, don't fall for any play action stuff inside. It's obvious they've been told that and they've been working on it.
Vaughn Hebron, number 22, has come into the backfield for the Broncos. Or 1 for 4 on 3rd down tries thus far in the game. It's 3rd and about 5.5. And Elway's got with some movement among his players, he uses another timeout. 9:32 remaining. 2nd quarter. Broncos driving. Big 3rd down play coming up.
You know, Bud Carson versus John Elway. Bud faced him with the Kansas City Chiefs and with the Cleveland Browns. And you see the numbers here in 5 regular season games. 42% completion he's held John to, and only 143-yard average per game and 8 interceptions. And that's why John has used 2 timeouts so far. Bud has created defenses that he hasn't liked, and he's cost him to use 2 timeouts.
3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun with Davis and Hebron in the backfield with John Elway. Rams come with a blitz. Elway's pass is blocked. Roman Pfeiffer on the blitz. Got way up there to block it.
And it's things like that. It's things like that. The blitzes, the disguises, what he does. Watch Pfeiffer right here. Von Hebron doesn't pick him up. Just shucks him aside and jumps up and disrupts this thing. That's what it does. That's what Bud Carson does to you.
Field goal try coming up as John Elway shakes his head. The Broncos with Jason Elam, 5th-year man, off to a great start, 6 for 6 this season. 43-yard kick is blocked.
Kevin Carter blocked it.
It's still a loose ball. The Rams were heading off to the sideline, and now it's down by the Broncos. The Rams were heading off. See, they've got the block.
Yeah, they've got to touch that ball. Now, the Broncos cannot advance it because it's past the line of scrimmage. But by touching it, it kills the play. And then it throws a penalty on it for an illegal touch. But watch the push in the middle here with the defense. They get a linebacker right here, and they're going to push Kevin Carter right through the middle. Watch Kevin Carter, number 93, get his hands up. That's where the ball was tipped. Frank Gans's special teams have had a history for blocking punts and kicks every place he's been.
After the kick, unsportsmanlike conduct on St. Louis, number 93.
Kevin Carter.
Penalty, first down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Kevin Carter. He took his helmet off, did he?
No, it got knocked off. Come back to it.
This Wednesday, the most eventful year of their lives begins.
Here's Kevin Carter.
Yeah, you know, he got penalized for having a helmet off, but it got knocked off. Now, Kevin Carter is right here. He's the second guy in from the pusher, and he opens it, pries it open. Watch him shoulder turn and see his hand get up. Now, right there, his helmet gets knocked off by Brian Habib. Brian Habib, number 75, the guard, knocks his helmet off, and they penalize him for having his helmet off. They thought he was jumping up and down celebrating. Watch. There's the push. See if you can see his helmet pop off. See it? His helmet's popped off right there.
Yeah.
And then he jumps up, and they think he's celebrating.
From the 19-yard line with a game tied at 7. Play fake by Banks, looking to go deep. Nobody open. In trouble, and down he goes. John Mobley takes down Banks for a 5-yard loss.
Well, with Banks, first things first. You know, you got to get rid of the ball of that thing, but just be glad he didn't fumble that time. Because last week we saw all that same pressure around him, and that ball was wavering around out in front, and he's trying to make something happen. There he elected to take the sack, but just get rid of that thing.
Amp Lee, the lone setback. The wideouts, Eddie Kennison and Torrance Small to the right side. Jermaine Ross to the left. Everybody out. Banks looking. Incomplete. Eddie Kennison looking for a flag on Ray Crockett. No flag comes in. Isaac Bruce.
And that makes the pressure on Kennison right here, and they're trying to get to him. Now, he's open here for a split second, but Ray Crockett does a nice job of recovering. Right there on the break, there's separation. Now watch him close.
The Rams' #1 draft pick, the #1 pick overall in the NFL draft. Orlando Pace is in at left tackle. Expected to go this entire quarter. Banks throws to the tight end, Ernie Conwell. It's up to the 25-yard line. About 4 yards short of a first down. Bill Romanowski on the tackle.
Pace didn't do bad here. This is Alfred Williams. Alfred Williams is a pretty quick rusher. Watch Alfred Williams put the spin move on him. But see the hands, see those long arms? That's why they drafted this kid, to become a great pass blocker. He's got those long arms, and those long arms helped him recover.
Will Bryce with his second punt of the game. Darian Gordon is deep. Gordon comes up with room to return. Smothered at the 40-yard line. Hard hit by Jeff Robinson and Keith Crawford, and Gordon is down, getting up slowly. Robinson, the former Denver Bronco, played here for 4 years. Good special teams player. In on the stop. Well, the baseball pennant races are coming down to the wire. The race on. Mets at Florida. Florida going after the wild card. Baltimore trying to hold on to the AL East lead. Dodgers fighting the Giants. Giants have the lead in the NL West. They have come on. Colorado Rockies will take on the Dodgers. Baseball on Fox. From the 39-yard line. Game tied at 7 with 7:47 to go in the first half. Elway looking to go deep, and he does. And it is incomplete. Intended for the tight end, Byron Chamberlain, who was covered by Gerald McBurrows on the play.
Boy, that's nice. That's a nice job with McBurrows. Now, McBurrows is the strong safety. Now watch him come over here and help out. And this is nice coverage. They create this matchup. There's McBurrows right there, and he's on McCaffrey. And that's a nice job. He's usually playing strong safety. There he is out at the corner, and they like the matchup, and John went at him.
Vaughn Hebron in the backfield with Terrell Davis. Rod Smith in motion, and now the whistle stops play. Looks like the Rams called a timeout. Rams defense want to talk things over with Bud Carson. They've gone over the sideline. And John Elway comes over. Well, one thing that the Broncos have is the offensive linemen have a kangaroo court, and they really hit Gary Zimmerman. They hit him for $8,000 in fines.
Yeah, well, he's the guy that started the fines. He's the one that started all the fines. And here they are. He made these rules, and then they turned around and used it against him. But I kind of like him. If awarded a game ball, you get $1,000 fines. Head slapping a teammate, cheerleading. You know how you jumping up and down on the sideline saying go, go? If you get caught doing it, it's $1,000 fine. Miss a cut block, and then here's the good ones. Acting like Deion Sanders, $50. Maybe that should be $1,000.
Close-ups on TV.
No close-ups, no jerseys displayed in bars or sporting goods stores.
They hit him with $5,000 for missing training camp and going to a motorcycle rally in Sturgis, South Dakota. Pitch out. Hebron with speed gets outside. Ridden out of bounds by Keith Lyle at the 47-yard line. Vaughn Hebron, the former Philadelphia Eagle, he's got good speed, a great return man, but taking the pitch out and getting outside with it.
Then that's another good pickup for him. I mean, he was a guy that made things happen down in Philadelphia. Yep. He'd come in and spell Ricky Waters, and every time he came in the game, I think and Charlie Gardner, he always averaged like 5 or 6 yards a carry. This guy made big plays. And he was here, and you have Terrell Davis, and now they spell him, but they also use him as kick returner. He's doing a great job there.
It's 3rd and short for the Broncos. Elway being rushed. And it's complete for a first down to the fullback, Howard Griffith. Big pressure from Leslie O'Neal, but Elway completes to Howard Griffith.
Yeah, that was a nice rush by Leslie O'Neal. Watch the move he puts on Tony Jones. He's one-on-one block over here with Tony Jones. Now watch him bring it to him. Tony Jones tries to cut him, and he stays on his feet and then delivers the blow. Elway just gets rid of that ball. Never does see it get completed.
Just across midfield, Leslie O'Neal has had a sack in each of the first 2 games this season for the Rams. Elway off the play fake, looking, and completing. Big hit by Ryan McNeil on Rod Smith, but it's another first down for Denver. Smith, who caught the 72-yarder earlier from Elway for the Broncos touchdown.
Well, the key thing there was Elway had all day. There was no pressure on him at all.
Each team has lost a key man on offense. Mike Shanahan has Shannon Sharp out with a turned ankle. Isaac Bruce is out for the Rams with a hamstring problem. First down Broncos at the Rams 38. That's Smith in motion. And the carry inside by Terrell Davis. Ryan Robinson in on the tackle.
You know, Terrell Davis, that's what they talk about, and that's what John Elway talks about. Ain't nothing fancy. He used to be the first to tell you, hey, I just get my 10 yards and just keep moving the chains. Watch him. The line of scrimmage is filled. Each and every gap is filled by the Rams. But watch him just sit and pick and choose his way, and he ends up with 5 yards.
On second down, Davis the lone setback. Elway completes outside to Rod Smith inside the 30, close to a first down. Marquis Walker on the tackle. Last week, Ed McCaffrey was the #1 man for John Elway. Week 1, it was Rod Smith, and it seems to be Smith this time.
Well, it doesn't matter who it is, but they're getting the plays off pretty quick. Both teams are getting the plays off quick up here in this high altitude.
Rams have their second unit defensive line inside of Howard Griffith. He's got a first down. Good pickup on short yardage by Howard Griffith.
That's throwing the dog a bone. They usually don't give him too many carries.
Gary Kubiak coming in from the sideline. Ball just across the 25-yard line. 4.5 minutes to go, first half. Game tied at 7. Rams have their number 1 defensive line back in the game in its entirety. Byron Chamberlain in motion. Incomplete. Nobody there. Pressure from Robert Jones. Elway got some pressure, and
that's what
nobody was there.
That's what they have to create. They have to create pressure somehow, and that's when they've been successful. Anytime they've given John Elway time to set up back there, it's when it's hurt him. And now that the first unit's back in, they're spelling him. And you see they give up chunks of yardage when the second defensive line's in, and then when the first unit comes back in, they make things happen.
9th play of this drive for the Broncos. Rams may have jumped. They did. Free play for the end zone to Dwayne Carswell. Flags down in the Rams secondary. Looks like a Broncos touchdown.
Yeah, they've got holding in this defensive secondary.
Offsides, defense, number 70. That penalty's declined. Illegal contact, number 35. That penalty's declined. Touchdown.
The Broncos scored. Dwayne Carswell with his first career touchdown on the pass from John Elway.
Yeah, he's one of the masters of drawing you offsides. He does it to every team. He's good for 2 or 3 offsides of penalties himself just by his voice inflection.
Elam for the extra point. And it's good, and the Broncos have regained the lead. Another long drive, and John Elway with his second touchdown pass of the game, his 4th of the season. This one to the tight end, Dwayne Carswell.
Yeah, when you get called offsides from the get-go, it's going to mess up your defense. I want you to listen here to John Elway and pretend you're a defensive lineman and your job is to rush the passer. When you have the intensity and its hair trigger, just that little inflection in his voice can pull you off.
And it did.
I've been a culprit of it.
Elam kicks off. Looking into the sun, Jermaine Ross, 7 yards deep, goes to a knee for the touchback. So the Denver Broncos have the lead for the second time of the game. John Elway hooking up 24 yards with Dwayne Carswell, the 4th-year tight end, his first NFL touchdown.
Yeah, you know, when you get drawn off sides like that, your defense automatically stops. You think, oh, no, it stops. And then you get the jump. Now, these guys jump right here on his voice inflection. Then back here, you're not quite sure what to do. What happens? Is the play dead? Is it over? That's why when you always have to stay in coverage. There's Carswell. And see the separation there? And just that moment's hesitation in your mind as a defensive player. Something happened. What happened? There's flags down. There's a play over. You don't know. Can buy you that window, and there was a touchdown.
Phillips and Hayward in the backfield with Tony Banks. Ernie Conwell in motion. Phillips carrying. Good effort for a short gain. Keith Traylor and Steve Atwater on the tackle of Lawrence Phillips. Broncos have had back-to-back long drives, one of 13 yards, 14 plays, excuse me, and the other of 9 plays.
Well, that's what's given them the 3 minutes difference in time of possession. And also, they, on the other end of it, you know, all their penalties is what has given the Rams all their time of possession.
Second and long. And jumping offside, Neil Smith. He says he was drawn off.
No, that's on Neil. See, look at him backing up. He's pointing to the guy, but he's backing up.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
Neil was pointing at the guy, but backing up because he knew he was offsides. He had to get back 5 yards. Yeah, this is unabated. That's just jumping. Unabated to the quarterback.
Neil Smith, after a long career in Kansas City, cut loose. Salary cap problems there. And very happy to be in Denver.
Well, you know, hey, he took the philosophy, you can't beat him, join him. And he was talking about Elway.
Phillips dancing. Nowhere. Good effort by the Broncos defense. Alfred Williams took him low. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
Watch this thing all shut down. Watch the fill here by Tyrone Braxton. That's the 8-man up principle. I mean, just the fact that his body was there is what made him cut back into traffic. And that's what Denver has always done with their safeties.
It's 3rd and 6. Everybody out for the Rams. Banks. Complete. No. Dropped by Torrance Small. Darian Gordon with a good job of coverage on the play, and the Rams will be forced to punt.
Well, that was close. Now, the side judge had a good angle of it, but Darian Gordon looked like he was right on top of it before the ball got there.
Good series on defense for the Broncos. Will Bryce to punt to Darian Gordon. Good high kick by Bryce. Gordon dropped the ball. Tries to get it. It's still loose. He's got it back. Gets away from one man. Brought down across the 20. Dangerous moment.
Yeah, well, that's tough duty.
Broncos.
You know, he was out there playing all the defensive series, and he just comes up with a big play there, breaking up a pass. Then he has to go back 40 yards to get ready to field a punt.
That was a tough punt to handle.
It was real high. I mean, Bryce is coming into his own now. He struggled the first couple weeks. He misjudged the ball where it was going to be. You always have to look at the nose of that ball. But that thing was so high in the air, he probably couldn't find it.
Fred Hager and Marquis Walker in on the tackle. 61-yard punt, career long. Broncos, 1st and 10 at their own 21. Byron Chamberlain in motion. Terrell Davis behind Gary Zimmerman's block. Up to the 28-yard line.
But Terrell Davis does a nice job of just feeling his way through. He just lets that thing string outside a little bit, and he waits for his time to cut.
Well, today there's a possibility Terrell Davis can reach 3,000 yards rushing in his 33rd NFL game, faster than any Bronco in team history. Whose record would Davis break? The answer, we return. Well, Bill, the answer to the Aflac trivia question is Floyd Little, who ran for the Broncos from 1967 to 1975, 3,000 yards in 54 games, number 44. And today is Broncos Reunion Day. About 100 former Broncos here. There's Floyd Little, and Terrell Davis with 43 yards came into the game eating 137 yards to break that Broncos record held by Floyd Little. Here's Terrell Davis. It's across the 30, close to a first down. DeMarco Farr, number 75, in on the tackle for the Rams. 10 carries in the game for Terrell Davis. About 47 yards. And the Broncos hurry up offense with 1:40 to go on the clock running. And they have only one timeout remaining. Elway yelling signals to everybody. Felt some pressure, started to run, gets rid of it, incomplete. Intended for Ed McCaffrey, who was open, but there was a lot of pressure and some hesitation on the part of Elway.
Yeah, and it started up front, and that's what they've got to do to disrupt everything. Watch the good pass rush. The front 4 linemen, and that's all it is. It's only the 4 of them coming here. They do a nice job of closing that pocket down. Bill Johnson and DeMarco Farr stands in there. And that's what you got to get out of your defensive tackles. You got to get them to push the pocket as your ends come up around the sides.
Big Bill Johnson, man in the middle. It's 2nd and 10 from the 31 for Denver. 1:21 to go in the first half. Elway quickly intercepted. Intercepted by Ryan McNeil to the 30. Outside. Cuts back across the 20. McNeil spins.
distance to the goal line.
What a fabulous play by Ryan McNeil, who had 2 interceptions last week.
I'll tell you what, they've done a fantastic job with Ryan McNeil, in my opinion. Pete Junta, the defensive back coach, Steve Brown, they've taught this guy to play man coverage. He came from the Detroit Lions organization where he played primarily zone coverage, and he's really worked hard, and it's been paying off for him.
Ryan McNeil with a great return. First interception on John Elway this season.
Well, he was under pressure again, too. They blitzed. They brought a blitz. They brought Roman Pfeiffer right up the middle of the pocket to disrupt John Elway. John saw Roman Pfeiffer coming out the corner of his eye.
Down by contact at the spot of the interception. Personal foul on the offense, number 80, 15-yard penalty.
All right, they're negating the return because they say McNeil was down by contact after the interception. Rod Smith got called for a face mask penalty.
Okay, watch Pfeiffer. Elway sees it. See, he looks at it. He gets rid of that ball and forces it in there. There's 2 Rams defenders around it. But right there, Eddie McCaffrey had contact with him while they were on the ground.
I believe it was Willie Green.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was Willie Green, 85.
So they will tack on 15 yards from that spot. You agree with that call as far as down by contact?
Well, yeah. His hand was on his legs. He should be down there. But my question is, if he's down by contact, then why the 15 yards? The play should be down there. Why the 15-yard penalty if the play was ruled dead when he was down?
All right. So the Rams are at the Broncos 23, trailing 14-7 with 1:05 to go in the first half. Everybody out. Banks in trouble. Now he's out of trouble. Spins to the 18-yard line. John Mobley on the stop of Tony Banks. There's John Mobley who made the stop. No huddle for the Rams. Clock running with 35 seconds remaining on second down. Banks, late pressure, throws to the end zone, and it's intercepted by Tim McKyer.
Intended for Jermaine Ross. He had the one-on-one coverage there, and Banks just took a shot. It's one of the things they wanted to do. When they had nickel package in and they had one-on-one with Timmy McKyer, they were going to go at him. That time, McKyer came up with a big play. They have their nickel defense in for the 3 wide receivers that the Rams have, and there's the one-on-one coverage with McKyer.
Tony Banks intercepted. I'm surprised they didn't call a timeout before that play. The clock was running. Now Tony Banks on the phone with Jerry Rome upstairs, the offensive coordinator.
He's calling to check to see where Isaac Bruce is at.
In the locker room, done for the day with a hamstring problem. Terrell Davis squirts through a hole. Outstanding effort for about 10 yards. First down on the play. Gerald McBurrows finally brought down Terrell Davis.
Denver uses their last timeout.
So a key play, the interception by the Denver Broncos, stops a good scoring chance for the St. Louis Rams. Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, JB and Terry will bring you all the scores and highlights from a great day of NFL football. And don't miss our Fox Sports ticker with up-to-the-minute stats. All that and more on Dockers Khaki halftime report. And don't forget, next week on Fox NFL Sunday, the pregame show goes on the road as they go to Green Bay. And the Packers meet the Vikings.
Well, they're getting a chance to go up there when it's still warm. You know, they don't have to wear those funny hats like they wore last year.
Oh, you would want to wear that. Oh, you're going to be in the studio, right, with Joe Buck?
Yeah, Joe Buck and I are going to be in the studio. Give me all the halftime highlights.
A little reassurance from Dick Vermeil for his players. 18 seconds remaining. First down, Broncos. Davis. Little cutback. And a nice move, and he almost broke it for a long run. Gets another first down. Ryan McNeil tripped him up. If Davis breaks that tackle, that could have been a long one.
He has a lot of patience when he's in the backfield.
End of the first half. Terrell Davis running well and maybe on his way to his third straight 100-yard game. The Khakis halftime report is coming up. 14-7 Denver at the half. Back in Denver, Colorado, overlooking the beautiful city on a glorious day for football. And here at Mile High Stadium, the Broncos leading the St. Louis Rams at halftime, 14-7. We have this highlight from the first half brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT. It's an Elway touchdown pass, but it really starts with his cadence call.
He's been doing it for 15 years. He draws you off. He gets that second hard count on you, and all defensive linemen jump trying to get to him. And then the flags were thrown, so it gives your defensive backs a second hesitation. You just freeze for a second to think what just happened, and that's enough for Carswell to get behind him.
A couple of drives in that first half for Denver. A couple of long plays. The long touchdown pass to Rod Smith. Elway has been strong. The only thing I think that's hurt Denver has been penalties in the first half.
Yeah, they've hurt themselves. They have not played completely yet as an offense. We've seen spurts of it, but then for some reason you've had the penalties bite them and some broken plays and things of that nature. We haven't seen this group gel yet in this game.
Rams had a big chance late in the first half. Interception by Ryan McNeil. They're deep in Broncos territory, but then Tony Banks threw an interception.
He threw an interception, but he wanted that matchup. Now, the clock was running, and you wonder how come he didn't call timeout. Well, they were trying to get that matchup. They liked Jermaine Ross on Tim McKyer one-on-one. They saw it. They didn't call timeout. They tried to go after McKyer. He came up with a big play.
Okay, Rams get the kickoff to start the second half. What do you think?
Well, they're still in the ball game. I mean, they've made mistakes. Their defense is playing good. For the third week in a row, they're bringing it. They are causing John Elway problems. Now, offensively, they just need to keep things rolling. Keep moving the chains, move the ball down the field consistently, and put it in the end zone. They're still in the game.
Broncos, Terrell Davis is running the ball well. He has 67 yards at halftime. Elway's passing. They may have too much for the Rams at this stage.
Well, you wonder at this altitude, and as much as the Rams defense has been on the field, not only today in the long drives, but over the last 2 weeks, they've been on the field a lot. How much can they take? How long can they stand up to John Elway, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp, and the wide receivers? I think that's going to be a big question this second half.
Overall, what the Rams have done defensively, your thoughts about how they played?
Defensively, they've been good. I mean, they've created problems for Elway. You made him take 2 timeouts, once on the short yardage and once again on a third down situation. Bud has thrown some wrinkles at him. Now, when they get pressure on them is when they're good.
Jermaine Ross and Ampley are deep. Elam's kickoff sends Ross 5 yards deep, and he goes to a knee and takes the touchback. Rams will go on offense to start the second half. And a look at the first half statistics. Show the Broncos passing of John Elway, 159 yards, 72 yards for a touchdown to Rod Smith.
To me, the biggest difference has been for the Broncos right there in the passing yards. And that's relative to the 13 first downs.
There was a flag on the play. Unnecessary roughness called against the Denver Broncos, so that adds 15 yards to the Rams, who will start on the 35-yard line.
Then we said it last week, too. If the Rams could get a passing attack going, they would have won last week, and it's starting to hurt them again this week.
8 penalties for the Broncos. Banks in trouble, and down he goes. Neil Smith got him. What an effort by Smith to fight off the block and get Tony Banks.
Well, that's just nothing but Neil Smith continually working. You know, as a defensive lineman, you got a bag of tricks. You're going to try to set stuff up. You try to set them up with a speed rush upfield. Then you give a little hesitation inside there. Neil Smith, you're going to watch number 90. He just keeps fighting. He comes upfield and fights through the outside shoulder of Fred Miller.
Broncos talked about getting more sacks. They had 4 in the first 2 games. They've had 3 today. Lawrence Phillips back to the 35-yard line before he's thrown back by Bill Romanowski. One of the most intense players you'll ever find.
You know, I think at halftime you go in and you're the Denver Broncos. You say, okay, let's get rid of the penalties. No more penalties. But then you say, defense, now it's time to take control of the game. You got a young quarterback. You see they're struggling in the passing game. Isaac Bruce is out. Now it's time for you to take over the game.
3rd and 10 for the Rams. Camp Lee, the lone setback. 3 wide receivers in. Under pressure, Eddie Kennison had it knocked away by Ray Crockett. Big rush on the blitz by Steve Atwater from his safety position. Crockett with good coverage. We welcome you fans who've been watching New Orleans and San Francisco. Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss here in Denver, where the Broncos lead the Rams 14-7 early in the second half. Will Bryce with a high punt, and Darian Gordon forced back to the 7. And gets to the sideline, spins away from one man. Good return by Gordon. Cuts inside. He may go all the way. Gordon down the sideline. He's going in for the touchdown. Darian Gordon. Fabulous return. 94-yarder for Darian Gordon. It was a heck of a punt by Will Bryce, a 59-yarder. But Gordon got to the sideline. Coach Dick Vermeil trying to find out what happened on the play. But one of the outstanding punt return men in the NFL, Darian Gordon, returns it 94 yards. Jason Elam with the extra point, and the Broncos have taken a 21-7 lead.
I'll tell you exactly what happened. There's a couple key blocks. Gordon takes it right here. Now there's a missed tackle right there by Jeff Robinson. He misses him. Now down here on the sidelines, I want you to watch Von Hebron put the block right there on Bryce the punter. That's the last block that sprung it open. And Gordon just waited on it and saw it coming, saw it setting up, saw Hebron come in there and block it. Watch it from this angle. There's Robinson with the miss. And then the block right here. See the block come into the picture. Gordon just sat there and waited on it, never broke stride. He knew the block was coming and never broke stride.
That's his longest punt return for a touchdown, his 4th punt return for a touchdown, and the longest ever for the Denver Broncos.
You know, you talk about the Denver Broncos, and you talk about them in the offseason with all the transaction, getting players in here, and then you talk about they've got a running game now with Terrell Davis, they got a kick return with Von Hebron, and they got a punt return with Darian Gordon, one of the best in the business. This team is a total team.
Elam to kick off, and the crowd of better than 76,000 really up as the Broncos now with a 2-touchdown lead. Elam's kick right through the end zone. The Broncos took a 7-0 lead in this game on a 72-yard touchdown pass from John Elway to Rod Smith, but the Rams came back a good drive, 74 yards, and Lawrence Phillips ran in for a touchdown, 23 yards to tie it. The Broncos regained the lead on a good drive and a touchdown pass from John Elway to Dwayne Carswell, the tight end, and now Darian Gordon with a 94-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah, opens this up a little bit. Now the game becomes Tony Banks' game. And he doesn't have Isaac Bruce, who started the game, went back into the locker room with the injury to the hamstring.
Torrance Small in motion for the Rams. Craig Hayward, who did not carry it all last week, got the inside handoff and got a couple on the play. To key men out of the game, one for each team. Isaac Bruce started the game, his first start of the season, bothered by a hamstring pull in preseason. Missed the first 2 games, played a couple of series and was out. Shannon Sharp, the all-pro tight end, turned his ankle in the first quarter.
Yeah, but Sharp went out and Carswell, the backup tight end, came in and caught a touchdown pass.
Phillips. Good play by Alfred Williams to slow him down, and then he's buried. John Elway with 2 touchdown passes for the Broncos in the game. The first one to Rod Smith.
Yeah, this one right there to slip in coverage, number 24. Dexter McCleon fell down, and Rod Smith just takes it on into the house. And the second one was the famous John Elway voice inflection. He draws the defensive line off sides, and the defense hesitates, and then it goes to Carswell.
Broncos with a 21-7 lead. 3rd and long for the Rams, who are 0 for 5 on 3rd down conversion tries. Banks through the hands of one man, Amp Lee, and then caught at the 35-yard line by Eddie Kennison.
What concentration. Now, Eddie Kennison is shook up a little bit. He's got his arm down there to the left side. It's dangling down there, and he just signaled. He said he's coming off to the sidelines.
He's playing with a bruised shoulder from last week.
And he bruised it again. But you see the concentration? The ball was tipped by Amp Lee. Right here, it gets tipped by Amp Lee, and then he reaches back for it. Kennison actually reached back for that. What concentration? Took a big hit, bounced up, and walked to the sidelines.
Steve Atwater with the big hit, but it's a first down for the Rams just across the 35-yard line, and the Rams have called timeout. 11:24 to go, 3rd quarter. The Rams trying to come back.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Saturn, a different kind of company, a different kind of fun. By Pizza Hut. Wouldn't it be great to enjoy today's game with a great pizza from Pizza Hut? By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by the U.S. Navy. Navy, let the journey begin.
Beautiful day here in Denver. Temperature at game time was 82 degrees. The Rams brought in the cool zone machines.
Yeah, Dick Vermeil called the Kansas City Chiefs trainers who come up here. They were up here 2 weeks ago, and he told them to get these. And so they went out and rented them. And with the humidity and the altitude, Denver doesn't need them, but St. Louis, trust me, they need them and oxygen tanks.
First down Rams at their own 35. Lawrence Phillips, nice hole, breaks a couple of tackles, and is brought down by Alan Aldridge, the middle linebacker, close to midfield. Lawrence Phillips scored the Rams touchdown on a nice run.
Yeah, he come up. The safeties come up here. There's Atwater with a missed tackle, and there's Tyrone Braxton too with another missed tackle. And he's really effective. Now he's playing. He didn't start the game because he had that turf toe last week. It swelled up on him, but he has a special cast he's wearing, and he's been effective when he gets the blocking up front.
First down Rams at the 49. Phillips again. Busts a couple of tackles. He's running hard. He did not start the game. He had a turf toe injury, suffered in the game last week against San Francisco. Didn't practice much until the end of the week. And now didn't start the game, but he's run well.
Trailer's the one that blows this thing up. Trailer number 94 blows up Bernd Brostek. Now, up front, I said Phillips is effective when he gets the blocking. Bernd Brostek is starting the first game. He missed all of training camp, didn't start practice till last week. And then number 62, Vernice Smith, the right guard, he's in for an injured Zach Rieger.
3 wide receivers in for the Rams on 2nd and 6. Everybody out. Banks completes to Amp Lee. That's a first down for the Rams at the 38-yard line.
I like Amp Lee. I like him, and he was effective last week. If you remember, last week when they played, they couldn't get their wide receivers open. The 49ers covered him up, and the only guy getting the ball was Amp Lee. And now he's into the mix again. They realize that they got to get him into their offense. Now, the offensive line gives him some protection, and that's a nice pass and catch. But he's another weapon that they can rotate. Now, they take out Phillips, they put him in there.
In the backfield with Amp Lee. In motion is Torrance Small. Moore carrying, finds the hole, breaks a couple of tackles, and Atwater slows him up. He's still going. First first down. Great run for Ron Moore, who was with the Jets last season and carried the ball only one time.
Yeah, remember he had a great start to his career out there in Arizona. Then it kind of faltered. But watch right here. Number 57 is going to come over here. Now watch Ron Moore keep his balance. He's wrapped up. There's Braxton has him. Aldridge takes a shot at him, and he puts his arm down there, and he has a little support.
That's Eddie Kennison, who was bothered by a bruised shoulder, is coming back. Looks like he's holding that left arm close to his body. Steve Atwater shaken up on that last play. 9:03 to go in the third quarter. The Rams are driving. The Broncos have the 21-7 lead.
Rocks. Check local listings.
This is a movie you want to see. Special movie thriller tonight, True Lies. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. The action starts right after football. Tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on Fox. Right here at Mile High Stadium, Lawrence Phillips has gone to the locker room to have his toe re-wrapped.
I think they could do that on the sideline. I bet there's some medication involved in that wrap.
8th play of the drive for the Rams, which started on the 20-yard line. Ron Moore busts forward across the 20.
Yeah, right now, the Rams are using a variety of different formations and a variety of different personnel groupings. In the backfield, that time was Craig Hayward. And when you get Ironhead up there as a lead blocker, you can see the surge that just occurred.
There we are. Say hello to all the fans.
Yeah. We look a lot better, or at least I did in a helmet. Huh?
Ball just inside the 20-yard line. Rams trailing 21-7 and driving. Torrance Small in motion. Ironhead Hayward, second carry of the game, short pickup. Coaching staff talked about not giving him the ball in short yardage situations last week. They felt he made some mistakes, and they kind of lost confidence in Ironhead.
Well, yeah, these veteran mistakes, and that's not what you like to see out of Ironhead. But, Dick Vermeil also said, hey, if I had to do it over again last week, I get that ball in the kid's hands.
3 wide receivers amply in the backfield for the Rams on 3rd and 4. Banks throws incomplete, trying to force it through. But good coverage on the play on Jermaine Ross. Tim McKyer was there. So now the Rams will send out the field goal kicking unit.
Ironically, they really moved the ball down the field that time by the run. They got a variety of different running backs going, and they tried some different things. They got the fullback involved.
Keith Lyle will hold. Jeff Wilkins, who was 4 for 4 last week against San Francisco, from 37. And it hit the upright. It's no good. I don't know if the wind caught that, Bill. It seemed to fade. It started out, it looked like it was heading right through, and it seemed to fade. Wilkins. Broncos gave up only 3 points to Kansas City, 14 to Seattle, but one of those touchdowns was on a fumble recovery, and 7 points today. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator. Broncos from the spot of the miss, the 27-yard line. Howard Griffith, the fullback in motion. Terrell Davis follows the block. Good pickup by Davis across the 30. Jamie Brown is in at right tackle. The third-year man out of Florida A&M.
That's the first he's been in, too. That's the first he's been in. Zimmerman played the whole first half. Now, and he came into the game, he played like he didn't miss a beat.
No.
Kind of throw that theory about going to training camp out the window, because not only did he miss all the training camp in the first 2 games, but it's not his regular position. He usually plays left tackle. Now he's playing right tackle, and the guy did great.
He reported to the team on Wednesday, unretiring, and has started today. Elway off the short drop and a quick completion for a first down.
And the thing with Zimmerman, now, there's a lot of teams in AFC West that were upset about this move because they felt that, as he comes back into the game. He's coming back in now. They felt that the Broncos circumvented the salary cap by maneuvering him. Maybe it was a false retirement so they could free up some of that money to go out and get these players in the offseason. But, you know, in today's day and age with this stuff, you've got to be creative in adjusting the salary cap.
And he's in at left tackle. He played right tackle in the first half. He's in for Tony Jones on first down with McCaffrey in motion. Davis carrying. Bounces off a couple of tacklers and gets a couple of yards. Keith Lyle with the first hit on Terrell Davis, making a bid for his third consecutive 100-yard rushing game.
You know, and the Rams have done a good job, I think, to the point of this is their first away game. This is still a young team. You know, I felt if it was a year away, next year, if this was the same matchup, the Rams would really be in position to come up here and take over. But they're a young team, and they're learning to adjust. And the way they're working it is by hard work during the week. And it's paying off for them, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
I thought they needed points on that last drive. That field goal missed by Wilkins really hurt. Davis bounces off of Robert Jones and gets close to a first down. Boy, he is a hard running back.
Yeah, Bud Carson said he's one of the best backs he's ever seen. He said, you know, people call him great. Well, I think he's underrated at great. Robert Jones was up there. He had a wrap around him, and he spins and just keeps his legs turning.
Carson compared him to Emmitt Smith with a strong leg drive and the ability to break tackles.
Leg drive. You know, I think he's a little quicker than Emmitt Smith.
Third and short. Elway swings it out to Davis. Has a first down and is ridden down in Rams territory at the 48. Robert Jones and Todd Light combined on the tackle. Davis, 67 yards in the first half. Tough to bring down.
That's the leg drive that Bud was talking about. Once he gets hit, he's got the ability to break a tackle on him.
He's to the sideline. Vaughn Hebron in the backfield. Two tight ends in for the Broncos. On first down, incomplete. Intended for Rod Smith. Ryan McNeil was there.
You know, Davis, we talked to him, Sam, and he said, you know, who's your idols in the game? You know, who's your idols? He said, of all people, Edgar Bennett. Now the running back that has a torn Achilles from Green Bay, yeah. Edgar Bennett. Now you're thinking maybe you'll get a Herschel Walker, or you get a Gale Sayers, or Walter Payton. He said Edgar Bennett, but that's the kind of player he is, in the fact that he's a hard worker. He does everything well. He runs well. He blocks well. They put him one-on-one with outside rushers, and he does a fine job, and he catches the ball.
He's a sixth-round draft pick. Boy, he turned into something special. Hebron trying to get outside. Rams do an excellent job of running it down. Roman Pfeiffer was there along with Keith Lyle to make the stop for the Rams.
Yeah, well, Gary Zimmerman was pulled there. He was leading that whole play. He comes out, watch him come out here, he leads. Now watch Von Hebron give him a little nudge. Like, come on. Maybe you're a step slow. Watch him, he's going to nudge him. Right here, get going. Get up there and block somebody. That might be another fine, and maybe they'll include him on the fine business.
Is that right?
Yeah, there's a fine for not getting out of there. That's a missed cut block. That's a $10 fine.
Oh, Kangaroo Court will be after him. 3rd and 10 for the Broncos. Elway being rushed by O'Neal, and Leslie O'Neal's got him.
What a rush. Leslie O'Neal is rejuvenated. Now, people said he hasn't gone away, but under this new Bud Carson's defense, where they bring all different kinds of people, he is rejuvenated. This is a one-on-one block on Zim. He swats his hands, and that pins Zimmerman's leg, and then he's off to the races, and he gets the ultimate prize right there.
3rd sack of the season for Leslie O'Neal, 1 in each of the 3 games, and the first sack on Elway. Today, 14-yard loss. Tom Ruin to punt. Eddie Kennison is deep for the Rams, looking into the sun. Good kick by Ruin. Kennison backpedals at the 5. Broncos have it covered, and Kennison is taken out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Excellent coverage by the Denver Broncos. Dedrick Dodge, number 33, was there to take him out of bounds.
Freedom on the Field, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to fly.
The spot from his holder, Landry. There it is. The kick is blocked. And Landry tried to recover and rolled free. The Colts have it. And it's going to be pulled out of bounds. That's a lateral to right.
Sometimes a field goal is as easy as 1, 2, 3. And sometimes it's a real kick in the pants.
Landry is going in for a touchdown.
That's the wildest play in the history. Bill Moss has played a few games here in Denver. There he is, the nose tackle number 63 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chasing John Elway. Did you get him here?
I got him there. I missed him a bunch of other times, though.
Now this is up close with Bill. Now wait a second.
What was that?
What was your weight there?
I don't know. I looked like I was storing some acorns or something.
Rams on offense, just across the 10, trailing 21-7. Ron Moore. Is Lawrence Phillips back in the game? Excuse me. No gain. Good play by the front of the Denver Broncos, and the middle linebacker Alan Aldridge came up to make the tackle.
You know, you're right, Sam. You said in that last comment that they moved down the field and it hurt them. They didn't get points. You're exactly right. But what they did do, though, is I think they're setting the tone here a little bit. Now, by running the ball down the field, moving it, you're committing the safeties to come up because that's a Denver defense. They bring the safeties up. They're setting themselves up so they get the safeties up and they can go over the top on them on a pass.
They have Orlando Pace in at left tackle. Wayne Gandy right tackle. Banks in trouble. Down he goes. Neil Smith, fourth sack of the game on Tony Banks. And Smith with his second. Broncos had 4 sacks in the first 2 games. They've got 4 this afternoon.
Well, look, everybody is covered downfield. Now, this is a nice rush, but what I have to call is a covered sack. They get good pressure, but there's no place for him to throw it. She's planted his back foot. He should be getting rid of the ball now, and no one's open.
It's 3rd and 15 from the 5-yard line. Everybody out. Banks being rushed. Throws incomplete. Too high for Amp Lee. Ma'atanuvasa, who has 2 sacks on the season. The third-year man from Hawaii put big-time pressure. Number 98 almost had him for a safety.
Yeah, watch this. This is a tackle twist. He comes in here, and Ma'atanuvasa comes around here. Now, the guard gets drawn down. Watch. Michael Dean Perry steps inside. The guard's block is drawn. That's Vernice Smith, and it opens up on the tackle twist. Nice stunt, guys.
Will Bryce kicks it from his own end zone to Rod Smith. Takes it at the 47. Gets outside and is taken out of bounds hard at the 35-yard line. Britt Hager made the tackle. The Broncos with excellent field position. Next week, the pregame gang goes on the road to Green Bay, and it precedes the Packers and Vikings, both 2-1. Bears and Patriots, Lions and Saints. NFL on Fox next Sunday.
Hey, did you see today? Was that great with Deacon Jones and Butkus?
That was terrific.
Slapping around dummies, and Butkus tackled it and started beating it up.
Broncos from the Rams 35, and a chance to break this one open. Completion to the tight end Dwayne Carswell at the 30. Time for a McDonald's game break for that. Let's go back to the Fox Television Center in Hollywood and JB.
Sam and Bill. Saints finally on the scoreboard, led by rookie quarterback Danny Werfel on the run. Finds Andre Hastings for the score. Rod Woodson out with a pulled right calf muscle after a career high 3 picks, 33-7. San Francisco, Sam and Bill.
Is Terry Bradshaw a prophet?
Why?
He's the one that said it. He said, hey, Saints fans. He says, don't forget. He said, Werfel will be your starting cornerback by the halfway point.
Big Bill Johnson heading to the sideline. For the Broncos, you saw the return man on the last punt, Rod Smith. Darian Gordon, who had the 94-yard punt return for a touchdown earlier, suffering some dizziness, and he's sitting on the bench. Jeff Sconina has replaced Bill Johnson for the Rams. 2nd and 5. Davis, nice cutback. Bounces off a couple of tacklers and goes to the 21-yard line. Brian Habib, the right guard, led him through.
Watch the block here by Schlereth. Now, you just said Skaninia's in. Watch the cut block right here by Schlereth. That's what springs this whole thing open. That's a nice job. And he's down there on the ground, and that just opens it up. That's enough of a seam, and it's a hard block to make. Because, as you saw there, Skaninia was offset, and he had to come down and get that block.
16 carries, 89 yards for Terrell Davis. Wayne Carswell in motion. On first down, the completion outside to Carswell. Short pickup. Keith Lyle covering on the play.
You know, one of the things we talk about John Elway, you know, over the years, he was a guy that used to run all over the place and make plays. But ever since Mike Shanahan took over this offense, now it's different. Now, John Elway knows where it's going. There's 3 steps and the ball is out. Everything is 1, 2, 3 in his reads, and he can always find somebody open.
He's driving for more at the end of the third quarter. It's Denver 21, St. Louis 7.
Clint Eastwood.
On Fox 6, home of the Packers.
Yeah, here's 10 years, season averages. This is under Reeves, and this is 2 years under Shanahan. And you can see, look at the touchdown differences.
Some good numbers. They have added the running game to John Elway's passing game and become a well-rounded team, one of the best in the NFL. On the delay, Terrell Davis gets to about the 15-yard line when he met up with Robert Jones.
Watch, this is a draw play. And this is favorite of Elway's, especially when they get down in here, right inside the scoring zone. Now you have to get extension right here. See Bill Johnson getting rid of his blocks? You have to get separation off your blocker. Because what they're actually doing, they're inviting you upfield for a pass, and then that's the delay handoff, the draw that comes right up the seam.
Third down for the Broncos at the Rams' 15-yard line. 3rd and 4. McCaffrey in motion. Blitz coming. Elway in trouble. Down he goes.
Boy, Elway took a shot.
And the Rams recovered on a fumble. The Rams are recovered. DeMarco Farr recovering. There was trouble. The blitz was coming, and Elway was shaken on the play. The blitz forces the fumble.
Yeah, watch Robert Jones, number 55. Watch him blow right through the middle here. Untouched. Nobody picks him up. Elway fumbles the snap, and it almost snaps his leg.
Big turnover for the Rams. Big play. The Rams needed something, and now Elway shaken up, going to the bench. Second turnover for Denver. Rams at the 16-yard line. Early fourth quarter, trailing 21-7. Banks outside to Torrance Small. Down at the 23-yard line, Ray Crockett with the first hit.
They're looking at that right shoulder.
John Elway, who tore the tendon in the muscle of the right arm in training camp.
Yeah, there he loses the snap. Then he gets tossed around right here. Yeah, that's it. But he lands on the left, though. They're looking at the right.
Yeah.
I didn't see where it happened there.
On second down, Lawrence Phillips runs into a pile up to the 25-yard line. It'd be about a yard short of a first down. Jeff Lewis, the backup quarterback, loosening up for the Denver Broncos. Second-year man out of Northern Arizona. He played in 2 games last season, has not seen any time this season.
Now look at here. Now you change your personnel. Now you got Craig Hayward in here, and you got 2 tight ends. You got big personnel, only 1 wide receiver. You kind of wonder if they're going to take a shot here.
Conwell in motion, 3rd and 1. It's Phillips, and he didn't get it. Alan Aldridge, the middle linebacker, on the tackle. It's short of a first down. They came up short last week in key situations against San Francisco.
Now, if it's 4th down here, I feel you got to go for it.
Really? This early in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, you do. Well, you look how far you're down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You're at Mile High Stadium. The altitude up here, the fourth quarter, it wears on a team. You've got to give the team a boost. You've got to fumble. You've got control of it. You got to go.
Well, you're right. They're going for it. And Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, urging on his unit. 3 tight ends are in for the Rams. 4th and less than a yard, and there was motion. It's going to be against the Rams. I think Jermaine Ross was the man who moved.
Yeah, well, your tailback is Craig Hayward. That's Ironhead. And your fullback is Aaron Lang, 86. You talk about big personnel.
Well, that changes everything now. Rams have to send on the punting unit.
Right of the snap. False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They called it on the left tackle, Orlando Pace, the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, it's a tough environment. This is a hostile environment right here, number 76. See if we can see him flinch here. When this crowd gets going up in Mile High Stadium, I didn't see it. I didn't see that.
I definitely saw Jermaine Ross move.
He's allowed to.
With Darian Gordon a little dizzy. Bad kick off the side of the foot by Will Bryce, out of bounds, deep in Rams territory. He just missed it.
Yeah, now Will Bryce has had problems coming in here, but up till now in this game, he's punted well. He wanted to create field position. He really wanted to boom that punt, and he just wound up too much.
Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator, thrilled at the way his team came through.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota. Every day belongs to you. Make it count. Toyota, every day. By Ericsson. Be ready for anything with a reliable Ericsson mobile phone. By Visa, the official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Miller Lite, now official beer sponsor of the NFL.
John Elway stays in the game for the Broncos from the Rams 33. Swings it out. It's dropped. Is that a lateral pass? Referee checking with the back judge.
Yeah, that was close.
And it's ruled a lateral. That's a loss on the play. That was a live ball.
Sure, watch. Now, I want you to watch right here. That's the fullback, Howard Griffith. Now, he was behind Elway. So that, in essence, is a lateral, and they fumbled it, and he recovered it. Yeah, right here. See, there's the line of scrimmage here, or not a line of scrimmage, but that's where Elway is, and you can see Griffith is behind that.
So it's a loss back to the 43. Elway on 2nd down. Completes to Willie Green inside the 40. Short pickup on the play. Willie Green, formerly with the Carolina Panthers. Here's a big play for the Rams. It really hurts.
Yeah, watch the windup by the punter. Now, he was averaging 6 punts. He had 50-yard average. Now, he tries to boom this one. Watch how he tries to kill this thing. And then you get a 12-yard punt. For a punter, it's like a golf swing. If you wind up big and try to kill it, you're going to dribble it right off the tee. And that's what that was, a 12-yard punt.
3rd and 16. Elway gets time, going deep for Rod Smith. He's out there. He's got it. Touchdown. Second big connection with Rod Smith in the game. Earlier, a 72-yarder. This one, 38. And the Broncos have the big lead. What a play.
Yeah. And in Kansas City, we used to refer to him as Houdini because it was magic like that he could come up with at any time on a football field. In the face of pressure, Kevin Carter, 93, had a rush on him. He just laid it out there perfect right at the pylon.
Elam for the extra point. And it's good. And the Broncos now with touchdowns in each of the 4 quarters.
Watch the pickup right there by number 30. I told you he could block as well. He's picking up the blitz.
Smith goes in.
Person in America who missed it. Here's what happened on Fox NFL Sunday.
June is going down. Come on. Down, down, down.
I think it's a sad situation when you have a great coach that puts together a great football team that can't get along with the owner and decides to up and leave.
Get on! Come on, Moose. Get on! He better take this move because if he comes up here, that's going to be the end of his day.
Next week, don't be left out. Watch Fox NFL Sunday at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
John Elway putting up big numbers this afternoon. 3 touchdown passes.
Yeah, with a hurt shoulder, too. Came into it with a hurt shoulder, then got dinged again. They were looking at it, and he came off the bench and just winged one like he does.
For the season, he is hitting on 62% of his passes, 50 for 81. Jason Elam to kick off. The Broncos with a 28-7 lead. Come up with big plays this afternoon. Jermaine Ross from a yard deep. Tries to get outside. Broncos get him. Detron Smith, the running back with great speed, the first man down to slow down Jermaine Ross.
You know, Bud Carson came into this game knowing he's going to have to gamble on defense, knowing that he's going to have to blitz. Well, he did blitz this time. I want you to watch. Here's Dexter McCleon come in. Watch Terrell Davis pick this up. The blitz gets picked up. You have man-to-man coverage downfield. Elway takes his shot at man-to-man coverage. No safeties. Touchdown.
Rod Smith, who had 5 catches for 122 yards against Kansas City opening game, has caught 4 for 126 today. Rams stuck deep in their own territory. Have not had good field position the second half. Banks short over the middle of Ampli. Spins away. Gets across the 20. Will be short of a first down. John Mobley, number 51, the tackle for the Broncos. And the Rams with a hurry-up offense. Bud Carson looks on. 13 blitzes.
Yeah, well, you see the one interception, but what you don't see is the 1 touchdown.
2nd and 1 for the Rams. Banks has time, and it's intercepted. Ray Crockett heading for the sideline, picks up a block. And he's down. Jermaine Ross takes him down at the 22. 2nd interception on Tony Banks. And the Broncos, the veteran team, taking advantage of some young mistakes by the Rams.
Yeah, it's the passing game, and this is where the Rams have problems. Banks throws this ball into double coverage. Crockett steps in front. Now you see that Hilliard was over there, and then Crockett just steps in front of him. I don't think Banks ever saw him.
At the 23-yard line, here is Tony Banks. Broncos 1st and 10 at the Rams 23. Byron Chamberlain in motion. 2 tight ends in for the Broncos. Everybody out. Throwing for the end zone to McCaffrey. Touchdown! First catch of the day for Ed McCaffrey. And it's for 6. Boy, Elway burns in a hurry, doesn't he?
But that was a nice throw, but it was an even nicer catch. Eddie McCaffrey caught that, took the hit, held onto the ball. Ed McCaffrey is 6'5", and that's a big target. And Elway said he likes those big targets. At his age, it's a bigger target, so less chance of a miss. But right there, he used his 6'5" body to step in front and take that ball and take it down.
Jason Elam's extra point is good. The Broncos have broken this game wide open. They have outscored the Rams 21-0 here in the second half. They lead it 35-7. 4th touchdown pass of the game for John Elway. This one to Ed McCaffrey. John Elway has passed for 247 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ed McCaffrey, with his first catch of the game, he had 8 last week in Seattle, and 2 touchdowns, his 3rd touchdown of the season. Jason Elam to kick off. Jermaine Ross, 1 yard deep, following Ampli. going to be against the Rams.
Holding in the wedge.
Nothing going right for the Rams in the second half.
Illegal block in the back on the return team above the waist, number 96, half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Frank Gans, the special teams coach.
I want you to watch. Right here, they changed the formation. The receivers switch. This confuses the cover guys. Ryan McNeil hesitates to come over to the middle. And it's just a hair late, and Keith Lyle, the safety, is as well. And there's the touchdown.
Rams start at their own 6-yard line. Ron Moore and Amp Lee in the backfield with Tony Banks. And it's all out for the front line of the Broncos. Amp Lee dancing through up across the 10-yard line. Tyrone Braxton in on the stop. Tonight at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. It's a great movie, an action thriller, one of Bill's favorites. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis star in True Lies right here on Fox following football. Second down, Banks. Throwing sideline and complete. Good catch on the play by Jermaine Ross. Up around the 24-yard line. If you joined us late, Isaac Bruce started for the Rams this afternoon, but bothered by a hamstring problem. He came out in the first quarter, and the hamstring has kept him out of action for most of this season. Blitz coming on Banks. Gets rid of it, wide open Amp Lee. Big pickup. Lee is brought down in Broncos territory. Dedrick Dodge made the stop, but Amp Lee was wide open coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they keep that up. If the defense of the Broncos will continue to blitz. Now, they had him pinned down there, and they got beat.
Orlando Pace still in at left tackle for the Rams. No huddle. Banks on first down, being rushed, drops it off to Ron Moore, and he's got to pick up down to the 40-yard line. Bill Romanowski in on the tackle. Ron Moore, who started his NFL career with Arizona, 2 years there. Greg Robinson, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. No huddle offense again for the Rams, who have 3 wide receivers in the game. Everybody out. Banks gets time over the middle and complete. Down to the 25-yard line, Keith Crawford.
Hey, 31, Amp Lee is a weapon.
Oh, it's Amp Lee, excuse me.
And no, I'm not able to use that. No, but I'm saying he is a weapon. And, you know, they only bring him down. They only bring him in like when they get in a problem. I mean, last week he was a weapon for him.
Yep.
When he comes in the game now, every time he's touched the ball, he's gotten big yardage. He belongs in this offense somewhere.
Phillips and Moore in the backfield. Pass outside intended for Crawford, almost intercepted by Ray Crockett. Crockett, who had an interception earlier, he wanted that one because the entire field was open to him. He wanted a touchdown. Ray Crockett.
Yeah, and now when you're for the Broncos, you're out there on defense. I mean, this is when playing defense is fun, because you know the team is down. You know if they do score a touchdown, you know you can take advantage. You can gamble. You can go ahead and gamble and lay it on the line. You can go after an interception when necessarily you might just stay in your coverage. You can rush the passer and try new things.
And you're 98% sure they're going to pass. Banks being rushed, steps away and throws for Jermaine Ross, deflected away by Ray Crockett. Good coverage by Crockett on the play.
You know, Sam, we go back and you talk about the 2 injuries. The Isaac Bruce, he started the game with the hamstring that's held him out, and he hurt it in the first series, and then Shannon Sharp, they lose him for the Denver side. But it really hurt the Rams because the Rams don't really have a passing game. And they don't have one when Isaac Bruce isn't in the game. They didn't have it last week when they needed it. They don't have it this week. And with Isaac Bruce in there, it also helps Kennison on the other side, and they just can't seem to get it going. Now, for the Broncos, they've been fine without Sharp.
And Kennison isn't in there. He's bothered by a bruised shoulder. On 3rd and 10, Banks throws short to Amp Lee, and they've got him. Short of a first down. Darius Johnson in on the tackle. Darian Gordon's on the bench, suffering dizziness. They've replaced him with Randy Hilliard. There's Darius Johnson, the second-year man out of Oklahoma. And on fourth down, the Rams will go for it.
And why not?
Down 35-7 with 6:45 to go in the game.
You know, and nobody's left the stadium.
Banks signaling. Crowd is loud.
They're bringing everybody.
For Crawford, he was covered by Darius Johnson. It's incomplete, and the ball is turned over to the Broncos. Dick Vermeil may have wanted a flag on the play. Broncos dominating this one. Ray Crockett in his 9th year in the NFL is 4th with the Broncos. Strong game for him today.
Yeah, it's a big game. You see the numbers right there. Only completed 2 passes, and he has an interception. But the key thing of it is, for most part of the day, he's been playing press coverage. He's been up on the receiver and had a fight with a guy all the way down the field all day long.
John Elway remains in the game, though it's one-sided. I think they'd be trying to get Terrell Davis 100 yards for the game. That time a short pickup. Robert Jones on the tackle of Terrell Davis, who has 91 yards.
You know, one of the things about this team, this Broncos team, is they are a team. They're a good team. At all positions, they got covered. They're quality people, but it's an unselfish, veteran, knowledgeable group. The offensive line, we talked to Schlereth, he takes great pride, the whole group does, in getting Terrell Davis 100 yards. Last week, they counted him down. He's at 91 right now. I'm sure they're going to try to get him another 100-yard game.
Davis, a hole this time. It gets about 4 on the play. Leslie O'Neal on the tackle.
Yeah, they're counting it down in the huddle. All those linemen together are chipping in and helping count. But Elway's probably the one that's actually counting for him, because offensive linemen can't count.
No?
No, they can't count. They just say, "Hey, John, how many more?" And then Terrell interrupts and says, "Well, I need 5. I need 5 more." I said, "Okay, we'll get it this play."
You're still picking on offensive linemen.
Yeah, you know. Can't get rid of it.
Third down for the Broncos. It's Davis, and he gets about 3.
He's down.
Roman Pfeiffer in on the tackle. Clock running with 5:10 to go. The Broncos are going to punt. They may come up a couple of yards short of 100.
You know, one of the things, again, with the Broncos, you look at 98 yards, they got to find him 2 somewhere. They got to get him 2 yards somehow. He's got some time left. But one of the things about the Broncos, you look at them, and I didn't mention their offensive line enough today. You know, we talked about Elway and the receivers and Shannon Sharp, but this group, to me, you look around the AFC, and you have Jacksonville, you have New England, and you have Denver, and possibly Kansas City, and they all have good offensive lines.
Bruins punt. Coming up short, Kennison takes it on the run, goes out of bounds with it. Up around the 40-yard line. 4:35 remaining in the ball game. And the Broncos with the big lead. You'll see the world's best drivers when they take you behind the scenes of NASCAR. It's the world premiere movie Steel Chariots, Tuesday, September 23rd on Fox. What I like about the Broncos, Bill, is that they didn't sit pat after the 13-3 season and said, well, we're a good team, we'll just come out a little harder next season. They went and they got better. They brought in some real good people for this season.
They got better, and it wasn't just Shanahan and Bob Ferguson, the player personnel director, that did it. The team pitched in. The team pitched in by deferring their salaries. And I think that's a sign of a group that just wants a Super Bowl ring.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 62. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Call that against Vernice Smith. The Alfred Williams deferred his entire salary till after New Year's, till after the season.
Yeah, he's playing for free in essence this whole season. And a lot of the guys deferred their bonuses. John Elway restructured his contract a little bit to get Neil Smith here, and they got key guys in key positions that think that it's going to help them. I mean, they've got a full team.
Banks throwing deep. He's got a man wide open. It was Keith Crawford. He overthrew him. Wide open. Broncos missed some coverage there, and Crawford had a chance to go all the way.
Yeah, when things go good for you, they go real good.
And Tim McKyer can attest to this for you, because he blew his assignment right here, and Crawford was downfield, and Banks just overthrows it. There's no one around.
Tony Banks, 15 for 30, 163 yards, 2 interceptions in the game. On second down, Banks with time over the middle. This time it's complete to Keith Crawford up near midfield. The outstanding special teams player, Keith Crawford, the captain of the special teams.
You know, they got him last year from Green Bay, and in Green Bay he was a defensive back.
That's right.
This kid's a playmaker. I mean, he just happens to play wide receiver, but he's a playmaker.
First down near midfield. Open out of the backfield, Ron Moore. Another first down as he gets to the Broncos 37. Under 4 minutes to go as the Rams use the hurry-up offense. Denver defense, 7 points today. They've given up only 2 touchdowns this season, 3 touchdowns against them. Against the Broncos, 1 was on a fumble recovery. Banks, nobody open, and he's done. 5th sack by the Broncos.
That's a rattled quarterback.
Harold Hasselback gets up.
I mean, you have to wonder. I mean, last week and everything that surrounded him, the passing game is not on track at all. Sacks, the fumbles, the indecision of when pressure's around him, what to do.
Well, Dick Vermeil said it would take at least 6 weeks for the Rams to get to be a good team, and it's taking some time.
Prior to the snap,
73.
false start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's Fred Miller, the right tackle. But Dick Vermeil says he has confidence in this group, and he wants them to just keep getting better and better. Now, this is a tough game because they're playing one of the best teams in the National Football League.
Well, there's no question, and he does have confidence in him, and it really shows he has confidence in him because he hasn't pulled Banks. He could have brought in Mark Ripken, in my opinion, last week and probably won the game for him, but he didn't. He stayed with his quarterback. He's going to let this kid go through the ups and downs of what being an NFL quarterback is.
Second and long, very long. Trouble. Banks dumps it off to Amp Lee. Nice moves by Lee, and he picks up good yardage. Gets outside. Lee, heading for the first down marker, is right there at the 27-yard line of Denver. Very close to a first down.
Did I tell you that I thought Amp Lee can make plays? did I mention that to you?
You've been on him.
Yeah, it's last week when I saw him.
You like him.
They've got to implement him more into their offense. He can do too many things.
It is a first down for the Rams with just over 3 minutes remaining, and still no huddle as Banks calls the play. Handoff to Ron Moore. Big hole, and he's heading for the goal line. Moore busts a tackle. He's in. Touchdown, Rams. Well, they went to the running play after all the passes and the no-huddle offense, and Ron Moore with a beautiful run for the touchdown.
What they did was they spread them out. They spread out the defense and left the 2 safeties deep. They're in it's kind of a prevent, but they're playing very deep, and then they hit up the gut. Watch it right here. Watch this. There's Ernest Dye, and then guess who the lead blocker is? Amp Lee was the guy that cut the linebacker down and sprung the thing open.
And Moore limping a little bit as he goes into the end zone. Jeff Wilkins for the extra point. And the Rams score their second touchdown of the game, both by running backs. Lawrence Phillips early.
The Denver Broncos defense has given up about 130 or 125 yards rushing, and that's really not a good day for a defense. You always try to keep your opponents under 100 yards rushing, and they've given that up. But the problem, like I said, for the Rams is they cannot get their passing game on track.
Don't forget, following football, it's the action-packed movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. That's at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on Fox. Broncos about to go 3-0 and looking good. One of the top teams in the AFC. This is the first of 2 times they'll be seen on Fox. Carolina will be here November the 9th.
Oh, yeah, I feel, what I tell you about them, I feel that they've got a great team. Every area is covered. Special teams, they got a punt returner in Gordon. Kickoff return, they have that in Von Hebron. They've got the quarterback, the tight end, the wide receivers, and the running back, and an offensive line. They spent money and went out and got Traylor and Neil Smith. Neil Smith with 2 sacks today. I mean, they've got all bases covered.
Darian Gordon, punt return for touchdown. Wilkins to kick off.
The onsides here.
Looking for an onside kick. 2:55 remaining in the game. Broncos leading 35-14.
Has to go 10 yards before Ram can touch it.
They go, they kick, it bounces. McCaffrey with a good hands, grabs it, and goes to the ground. Broncos have the ball, and we'll see if they try to get Terrell Davis 100 yards. He's coming from the sideline. He's coming in. Ed McCaffrey, the man who caught the onside kick. Two 2-0 teams coming in today. Miami lost to Green Bay. Minnesota lost to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay now 3-0. And New England goes against the Jets in Foxborough tonight. Mike Shanahan has done an outstanding job. Broncos will now make it 10 straight wins at home. They did not lose a home game last season, and this will be 2 in a row this season. Terrell Davis. Gets him over 100. 3 consecutive 100-yard rushing games for Terrell Davis. That's the 13th of his career, and he's too short of the Denver record held by Floyd Little at 15.
They're going to come close to getting it, too. Now, this offensive line, I told you these guys. Habib made a heck of a block there. You see they're congratulating him. And the offensive line, to me, is the nucleus of the whole thing. Now, they've done a great job of keeping these guys together. The only addition has been Tony Jones. They went out and got Tony Jones when they thought Zimmerman was going to retire. Now, he's at a plus. This is a good group, and they've done a good job of keeping them together.
And Jeff Lewis in at quarterback, Von Hebron on the carry.
Okay, you know, in free agency today, Sam, it's tough to keep guys together. They've done a great job of keeping them.
2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the game, and the Broncos have this one well in hand. This season. Time for a McDonald's game break. For that, let's go back to the Fox Television Center in Hollywood and JB.
Sam and Bill, no mistaken. Who is Kerry Collins' favorite receiver? Wesley Wall's second touchdown reception of the day as the Panthers all over top of the San Diego Chargers. 26-7 back to Sam and Bill.
Thanks, JB. Nice return for Kerry Collins coming back from the injury. He was hit by Bill Romanowski, who got fined $20,000, had his jaw broken. There's Neil Smith, has a good day today. And Carolina gets down there in the red zone. Wesley Walls is a heck of a weapon. He's great. Jeff Lewis hands to Von Hebron. Good power by the little guy. As he is brought down around the 27-yard line by Jeff Sconita. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Today's game produced by Mike Burks, directed by Andy Kindle. Associate director is Rich Dewey. Broadcast associate Michael Fitzgerald. Studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown. Executive producers Ed Gorin and David Hill. 35 seconds to go. To one knee goes Jeff Lewis, thanks to Emmett McGuire and Jim Stamus, our statistician and spotter in the booth. And that wraps it up. John Elway, 4 touchdown passes. Threw for 247 yards. Tony Banks and Dick